Right, let's look back on some of the big stories of the night. We'll talk Man City 5-0 in just a moment, but one goal enough for Liverpool. They've won at Leipzig, which, Tim, you know, we said was a tricky old contest going into this one with Leipzig defensively, best defence in the Bundesliga. How good a win is that for Liverpool tonight? Yeah,
I thought it was a really professional performance from Liverpool. It wasn't outstanding anyway. I wasn't off the edge of my seat all of the game, but don't need to be. Don't need to entertain me. You just need to win football matches, especially in the early stage of this Champions League, and they're doing everything. I mean, I think the manager's very good. I think they dominated the game. Not over. You know, there wasn't like. It wasn't a total domination. There was still some chances from Leipzig. I thought Kaleo played well and made saves when he had to. But once Núñez gives them the lead, I thought they got a lot more confident, and it was a blatant penalty turned down when Núñez gets brought down by Oban, the captain of Leipzig. Wasn't given, went to VAR. Don't know what they were looking at. Obviously, there was a power cut when that was going on. Because it was a ridiculous decision. Should have been 2-0 and it would have been very, very comfortable. But like I say, then after that, Konate, Van Dijk and Gravenberch, who's been a revelation all season, just marshalled out any danger. They just put out fires, and they were outstanding, them three tonight. And I think that is 11 wins out of the first 12 games. And that's the first time, I believe, in history.
It is, and it's also the first time in their history they've won their opening 6 away games.
Yeah.
I mean, this man Arne Slot, you know what it's like to go into a club and take over. All right, he was taking over a side that was in pretty rude health.
Yeah.
But just give us some sort of perspective on the job he has done to win 11 of his first 12 games.
Yeah, he's not only gone in there and he's kept it the same on the pitch, but he's a complete contrast to the man who was in there. We loved having Jurgen here. You know, he was brilliant for the Premier League, charismatic. This man's completely different. You know, he's just himself. You know, he's unassuming. He's just getting on with his job. He talks obviously to his players. They're listening to him. And it wasn't broke, so he hasn't fixed it. He hasn't tried to change too much. He hasn't got that aura about him now. I need to stamp my authority on this. He's thinking, well, I've got a good set of players here. I need to keep them happy. And, you know, it helps when you've got, I think he's had a good run of fixtures in the Premier League, you know, to get some wins and some confidence under their belt. But in the Champions League, they've done well as well. So, you know, so far so good for Arne Slot. He's done a brilliant job at Liverpool. It was a really, really tough job and a tough manager to finish following.
And just finally, looking ahead to Sunday, Super Sunday, against Arsenal at the Emirates. You know, the contrast in sort of noise and mood in the two clubs in the last week or so is quite stark, isn't it? Can you see Liverpool going there and getting a result?
I think it'd be a very difficult game for both sides. Arsenal obviously are capable of winning, depending on who's fit for Arsenal. Saka will be a huge player. Looks like it's going to be too soon for Odegaard. Look, it's a 50-50 game, that's for sure. Liverpool are going to be very competitive. No one knows in the Liverpool side who's going to start. I think the two centre-backs will start, Konate and Van Dijk, and I think Gravenberch has earned his place. Mo Salah will come off tonight after an hour. He will start. Other than that, I think they'll be having a close look at what team the manager picks, because they've got so many options. They've got a lot of attacking options. Núñez scores tonight. He probably sits on the bench at the weekend. So, you know, he's in a very nice place at the moment, Arne Slot. I bet he thinks, what's all the fuss about this Premier League?
Absolutely. You know, no Premier League teams in the final last season, but the Premier League appears to be hitting back. 12 games played so far in the league phase, 10 wins, 2 draws, no defeats, 24 goals scored, 1 goal conceded. 5 of those goals scored by Manchester City tonight. Danny Mills watched, Erling Haaland got 2, and the first one was quite something, wasn't it?
The first one was unbelievable, really. You know, you remember Giroud's scorpion kick. It was that, but he did it while he was jumping sort of 6 foot in the air. It was just incredible. I'm sure there'll be kids all week, you know, practicing that and trying that on Saturday, Sunday mornings, whatever it might be. City were imperious, they were emphatic. They just dominated from start to finish. You know, Sparta Praha gave them so much respect. They sat off. But City also have different ways of beating you at times. You know, they will pass you to death. They will create chances. Savinho was a little bit different tonight. He was able to get the ball and run at people and dribble. Matheus Núñez on the other side also was happy to dribble at people. And then they can just throw it into the box. You know, with Erling Haaland in there, John Stones from set pieces. They've got different ways of winning games as well. And when we talked about, you know, teams having injuries and squad rotation, 5 changes from the weekend, 5 big players out at the moment, and they still win 5-0. You know, and they're not. People would say they're not playing particularly well so far this season. So it's ominous for everybody else.
Yeah, ominous 80% possession as well. 700 plus passes for Manchester City. 5-0 winners, their biggest win of the season, despite missing some players tonight as well, with Grealish facing a spell out of the team.